Hello Floppy Catters. Today I'm going to do a video about the kind of ideas, suggestions that you can use if you want to transition your cats from, what is it with my YouTube videos and cats? I always get the one smell and the other is Buta. This is Murphy. This is my mom and dad's cat. He's 11 years old. And this is Camus, also my mom and dad's cat. They're half brothers. Camus is also 11 years old. So, one of our readers today was talking about one of her cats has bladder infections over and over and over again. She can't get him to eat dry food. Can't get him to eat wet food. He's crazy about dry food. So when I transitioned Camus and Murphy, or when my mom transitioned Camus and Murphy, and when we transitioned Charlie and Trig, these were kind of the things that we used. So you've got to start out with wet food. This is a pouch wet food, but you can choose whatever you want. And you might have to spend some money trying to figure that out. Then this is a Cuisinart mini chopper grinder. This is a very old school one. You can buy them still today, but they don't look exactly like this. I'll include a link to where you can buy it on Amazon below, or you could do Macy's probably carries them, or Bed Bath & Beyond. So this is dry food, and if this dry food is ground up in this Cuisinart, then you can sprinkle it on the food so that they recognize it as food. Because what happens is cats are trained by their mom to identify what food is. So if they weren't introduced to wet food, or they just simply didn't like it at the breeder or where you adopted them from, then they're not going to take to it easily. Not always. Some cats do, and that's awesome, and you're a lucky duck. The other option, and this is a good one too for their tummies, especially if it's a cat that's had bladder infections, because they've probably gone through a course of antibiotics, so now they need a course of probiotics. And these are probiotics. You can get all different kinds of probiotics for cats, but this is the one that we typically use. The packet is very thin. You just open it up and sprinkle it on. And I'll include a video link below. I did a whole video on Purina's Fortiflora. And the last thing is these are the Whole Life Pure Chicken treats that we give to our cats. And there's usually powder at the bottom of the bag that's great for sprinkling onto. What are you thinking? What are you thinking today? I saw you looking at me. I saw it. You want to smell that one? Now again, Camus and Murphy don't have any problems eating wet food now. They were on a wet dry food diet until they were about 6 years old, and then I convinced my mom to transition them over to wet food only, primarily because of this kitty right here. Murphy had kidney stones. I'm talking about you. Had kidney stones in his kidneys in an ultrasound, and if they got any worse, they were going to have to operate. And 6 months later, after being on wet food only, the kidney stones were undetectable on the ultrasound. So in other words, it doesn't matter how much water your cat drinks. It does not make up for the dry food. That's why wet food is so important. Ideally, I'd like to get mine on raw food, but they haven't taken to it easily, and I'm not good about I don't have the energy right now to go through these steps to get them there. All right, so I'm going to put probably 3 or 4 things of kibble, and these guys are going to want some kibble, so I'll do 4. And I would probably do 4 or 5 per thing of cat food. You want one of these? I know, that's yummy. And Camus and Murphy, they obviously get dry food sometimes like that. That's a treat for them. It's never on a daily basis. And I do feel like that's okay. It's something that they like, and neither one of them are having health problems. So it's not going to hurt them, especially since they've had lots of water in their wet food, and I'll show you what I mean by that a little bit later. Okay, so how this works is it basically turns on when you plug it in, so I'm gonna have it all ready to go before I plug it in. Okay, so I just ground these up, and I grind it like a powder because you don't want to keep it in clump form, because then that allows the cat just to pull it out of the wet food rather than having to eat the wet food to get it. This also helps if you've got a cat with, we were doing this kind of stuff on a dog level for Napa before she passed to help her be encouraged to eat. Okay, this reminded me, whenever I'm preparing food for a cat, I always let them smell it before I serve it. Bobo. He's not supposed to be on the counter, but my mom's not here, so we won't tell her. Wait. He put his head in the Cuisinart thing. Look at, he's got dry food all over his face. That's awesome. It looks like pollen, but it's not. Bo? Noose? Okay, so normally we would not split this. They would each get a pouch each. Great English there. But they have 3 meals a day. My mom feeds them at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 12 noon, and 4 p.m. And it's now 5. So I'm just splitting it. They're gonna have a little extra meal today because I wanted to show you what I'm gonna do with this. Okay, here's the food scooped out into the bowls. This is with no water added. And this is kind of the approach I might take if I was transitioning them. Then I would sprinkle a little bit on each one like that. But for the sake of this guy and Camus, I'm going to add water. And I always try to add pretty warm water and then mix it up in the bowl, because then if they want to eat all of it, they have to lap up the water. Look at Bo's already going for it. Bo's like, I'm gonna go with the one. Oh, that's a yummy one. Oh, probably never gonna eat this version of food again because it doesn't smell like dry food. So then I would use the rest of this to sprinkle on top into the water too, because the dry food, since it's dry, will absorb that water, and then it will become, will have moisture in it from that. What do you think? Are you going to eat up here? I'm just going to eat up here because I can. No, you want the other one without the water in it. But I wouldn't start adding water until you have your cat eating the food as it is. So, like, here's the situation. Look at, he's going for the one that I have not added water to, as opposed to the one I have. He's still got it all over his face. Bo, that's pretty funny. Amos was waiting on the floor for his food, so he gets the one with water added. I'm gonna go and add some to, he's just pulled out one of the pieces of chicken. Gymnose. So that Fortiflora that I was talking about, it's the same concept where you would sprinkle it on the food, mix it in, and then maybe sprinkle a little bit more on top so that they smell it. Cats eat primarily from the smell of food. So even as a cat gets older, for those of you new to my channel, my cat Rags is the reason for our website, and he died in 2009 of renal failure. And getting him to eat in his final months was always a challenge, so I really had to find stinky food to get his hunger to the level of wanting to go for it. Another thing you could do is you could do like a whole cup of food, get it ready and have it ready for each meal, so that each meal you don't have to take this thing out and grind it up and all that sort of stuff. That's always an option. Like, he's like, God, you ruined it. You added water to it. I might sprinkle some of this on top too. Okay, I just added the powder to it. Let's see what happens. He is the pick-your-eater of my mom's 2 cats. The reason I've come to really dislike dry food are the number of problems that I hear about from cat owners about dry food problems. For example, kidney stones. Bladder infections are another one. Urinary tract infections. Diabetes. Renal failure. I mean, the list goes on and on that are causes of dry food over time. There are some cats that do totally fine on it. It's like some humans do totally fine eating ho-hos, and other humans don't fare so well. So it's just that, you know, once one cat has a problem and you have a multi-cat household, you got to change it up, or your life's going to be miserable, and so are your medical bills. And lucky for Murph, he didn't have to have surgery for his kidney stones because my mom took action and got him on a different diet. Hope this video helps. If you guys have tips and tricks, if you've transitioned your cats to a different food, please include suggestions below in the About section so that other people can learn. And we will see you next time. Bo, where you think? You can go. Where you go, Bobo? Why is it so dark? It's so dark, Bobo. He's smelling the string of the camera. You say bye to people on YouTube. There's my blaze.